What's up, everybody? Welcome back to a very special Wednesday bonus episode of The Moment Live. I'm your host, Meredith Lynch. I'm joined, as always, by my colleague in crime, Rebecca Senenez. And today we're going to be talking with Michael Tubbs, who is running for lieutenant governor here in the great state of California. He's the former mayor of Stockton. And
youngest mayor in American history, I believe.
And the things that I knew a little bit about him and the things that he before I actually had met him, etc. Because I have a good friend who's from Stockton, and
I didn't know that.
My old boss is from Stockton, so I knew a lot about Stockton. But the things that he did for Stockton are amazing, and so I want to talk a little bit. We want to talk a little bit about his run for lieutenant governor, a little bit about what he did that worked in Stockton that he wants to bring to the state level. So anyway. But for the first 20-ish minutes, we just thought we would hang. We thought we'd take a few more questions. One of the things that's hard about being in studio is we can't see all the chats. So anyway, I thought, we've been offline. We were talking a little bit about Summer House. We're talking a little bit about J-Lo and Brett Goldstein. And so guys, tell us what you're chewing on this morning. What's up with you, Michael?
Well, this is our work from home episode. You know what I mean? We're hey, we're comfy cozy. We're at the house. The dogs are going to bark. So this is where we go wild. This is the one. If you've got, questions. So yeah, we were talking about Summer House. Neither of us are big Summer House people, but both of our impressions, without getting specific, is deeply relatable. How many of us have been in this situation? And we were talking about my sister is in sort of a situation like this. I dated somebody who's now very high up in New York City politics and has
Anthony
been.
Weiner.
What? Say that? Wait, say that again.
I said Anthony Weiner.
And it's Anthony Weiner. It's Andrew Cuomo. No, but close enough. But yeah, there was somebody who I was dating who was very high up in New York City politics who looks a lot like Zoran, was sort of had a Zoran trajectory and did not turn out to be Zoran, among many reasons, because he was clearly a cheater. And how you do one thing is how you do all things. So if you
please don't tell me that. I know that's what your mom says. And now it's really got me reconsidering every attempt that I've ever made at a math problem.
Well, okay, but here's the thing did you make an attempt?
I mean, back in the day, sure.
Yeah. So that's how you do one thing. You don't have to achieve every single thing, but how you do one thing. Did you try hard? Hi, Paula.
For a while. But
Paula, drop in the chat if you know a shitty dude that you want to talk about or have needed some advice on shitty dude situation. That's what we're feeling wild fancy free here this morning.
Well, can we talk a little bit about J-Lo? Because I will never do a video about this, but I have something that I want to say about J-Lo because I think it's so interesting, but I'm afraid of the backlash.
I'm afraid of her.
This actually isn't me being afraid of her. To me, this is actually scarier. Okay, so let me break it down for you. If I say the name Lindsay Shookus to you, do you know who that is?
Yes. Wasn't she dating Ben Affleck?
Yes. Now,
remind me, but yes, it's ringing a bell.
So she is a writer. Oh, I'm currently fangirling Pope Leo. So are we.
Ooh.
Cyclical. Last night I went to an open mic and somebody made a joke about Field before I went up, and they were like, I was on Field, and I was like, oh, and they were like, see, Field. And it's no, if there's anybody who doesn't know Field, it's Meredith Lynch. And so
your coworker who knows Field. I'm the one who comes up here.
So I got up when it was my turn to go. I was like, I just want to make for the record, I have no idea what's going on Field. I do know what's happening in the Pope's latest encyclical. That's, that feels more on brand. But
Field is wild. Can I just throw out there?
What are we doing on there? The girl who got up, she said that it's mostly people, it's mostly hot girls looking to have threesomes with their mediocre boyfriend.
Yes, it's a lot of it's a lot of that. I once had, I feel Oh boy, I don't know. How wild are we gonna get on this one? I'll just say, one time I had a guy who, like, he was just like, I don't know. I was just sort of like entertaining him, and he was like, actually, maybe I can't. I don't know if I'm ready for this. I don't know if I'm ready
Okay,
for
we don't use those. Okay, let me ask you this though. Like if you had to like get like if it was Field, Hinge, and Bumble, which of the three do you think is like the best? Like if you could only go on one.
Field, honestly. I
Really?
mean,
Okay.
I think that that's like I'm sort of over all of them. I'm
Yeah,
over
sure.
all of them. I just feel like Field is the most fun.
Sure.
And fun in so much as, like, I will say, to Field's credit, even the story that I was about to tell you, which, like, I just like can't have the words. I can't call her daddy. I'm like this. I just like can't imagine this existing on the internet forever. But people on Field are good at knowing like consent and
Okay,
like
cool.
they're good at like like they're very like therapy literate. And so even if like it's not the right person, people are really good at being like, this is what I want, these are my
Yeah.
boundaries. And so like in the this is what I want, I feel like I go on Hinge and it's like I either want I like there's a lot of energy of like I really want to date and then I'm going to ghost you, or this
Right.
has
There's
to
more
be my significant
transparency on
other.
Field.
And like more self-clarity, more self-knowledge. You know what I mean? Like it's not even transparency. It's like I think people on Hinge don't always know what it is that they want. Whereas Field, I think people do know what they want, even if it's not the same thing that you want.
Sure. Yeah.
So yeah. And the worst of all of them, which will go to our JLo conversation, is Raya. Like
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Raya
Let's
is
go to
the
J-Lo.
worst. Let's go JLo.
Okay, so Lindsay Shookus used to work on SNL. I don't think she does anymore. I don't think she has for a while. Pretty high up. And the rumor was for many years that she and Ben Affleck had a long-term ongoing affair, both
Yes.
married, and like this is pretty well accepted. And then when Jennifer Garner and Ben Affleck split up, they started dating. So then it kind of seemed like, yeah, maybe they did have something going on. But
Yeah.
then they broke up and then they got back together. And the thing has always sort of been like, did she like also leave her husband for Ben Affleck? They
Mhm.
got back together and then they were more serious, like they lived together.
Oh, I
And
didn't know
then
that.
yeah, and then like all things with Ben Affleck, it didn't work out, right? Like I think that he really like wants to settle down sometimes and then he realizes like, oh my, addiction, not saying he's like
I was gonna say
using,
he's an
but
addict. Yeah.
right, the addict brain turns on. So anyway, they broke up. But here's what's really interesting about this. Lindsay produced the A-Rod documentary.
Oh, that is interesting.
Right?
Oh, wow. Yeah, I did not know that.
And of
Okay.
course, that was very much post A-Rod and J-Lo split. A-Rod, of course, allegedly cheated on J-Lo with one of the girls from like Southern Charm or something, or like at least that was one of the
Yeah,
people that
yeah, 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 yeah.
with. But I do think it's really weird to be like, hey, like, and this is now at this point when she does the A-Rod doc, I believe like maybe when it came out they had split, but when she's doing it, J-Lo and Ben Affleck are together. And I just feel like it's like the
It is
tangled web.
messy. I know these people are messy. I, for one, will say I know people who have worked very closely with Jennifer Lopez, and all accounts say that she and Ben Affleck are like extremely hot for one another. Like if
Of
they are in
course
the
they
same
are.
room, they cannot, like it is like, like annoying. You know what I mean?
Of course they are. And you know what? Like I actually feel for her. I in that scenario, like I think that first of all, I think she was very in love with A-Rod and then he cheated on her and humiliated her. And then I think she linked up with imagine like you link up with this guy who was like the love of your life in your early 20s. You wanted like, this was the guy and now he comes back to you and he's like, "Listen, it's been like 20 years. I figured my shit out. Like we're both
Totally.
adults now. Let's get back together." Like I think that's a very compelling case. And then he fucking screws you again.
I also think that she is herself. Did you a Love Addict? Did you watch that weird music video that she did?
Just parts of it. I mean, like, I think she's a love addict, but I think that Ben Affleck actually fills that bucket. Like, I think she was
Well, that's what. So
genuinely in love with
I
him.
I thought that so hear me out. So I
Yeah.
watched the documentary about the making of, which I thought was
Yeah.
far more interesting and said so much more about her. Like, I don't think she realized how much she was revealing of herself, but I think that like part of her love with Ben Affleck is the narrative. Like, I think she is so in love with fame and public image that, like, not only, like, I'm sure they're hot for one another, but I think part of it was she was like, ooh, I know what a good like narrative is and this full circle moment. And at sort of like the height of my original fame, I was with this guy. And like, I think some of it is in love with the image and not just the person, which is something that I, having worked with a lot of famous people, I think famous people struggle with is like
Right.
what is actually something that you want for yourself versus what you want as like a public image and feels exciting in that way.
Somebody's in the comments. She's also a Diddy party partaker. I mean, it's kind of hard to
Oh.
know. Like, you know what I mean? Like,
We don't know if
yes,
she was a Diddy party partaker, but she was definitely around for the original
right.
pew pewing, you know,
Yes.
or maybe
So,
not
like,
even the original, one of the original.
yeah. I feel like these people who get associated with some of these things, now people just be like, they're this. And you're like, oh, I mean, I don't know.
Everybody, you know. I was gonna say that she also did you know that she had a breakup with two people, Leah Remini, who was her longtime best friend. They're no longer friends.
Right.
And two, her longtime producing partner, Elaine. Now her last name is escaping me, but she's in the documentary. She's been with JLo forever as her like her real number two. And they recently split up. And so I'm very curious. Like, there's no way that split up was casual. You know what I mean? Like, this woman built her career around JLo, and whether JLo knows it or not, her career is built on this woman, and they broke up. So interesting.
Vienna in the chat saying it's Elaine Goldsmith Thomas. I would say something about JLo is like she has remained consistently relevant without doing a ton over the like. I'm not saying that she doesn't work
Yeah.
hard. But like, please tell me the last new JLo song that you heard on the radio. Like
Well, that's
right?
the thing is she really tried to make a comeback with that music video, and like
Right.
it is. I don't know, like it is the inside the mind of a narcissist because it is so bad, and the documentary is so delusional, you know, like, yeah, she's famous. Now she's famous for being an
Famous.
icon.
Yeah, she's famous for being famous now. And I think like if
Yeah.
someone has kept you famous for being famous, then maybe that's, you know, as you continue to age in Hollywood, that's probably who you should like keep your star hitched
Hang
to.
around with. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they figured out the formula that works for you. Like, I just think like she's not an incredible singer.
She never has been. Yeah. She never has been.
But
I
I
will
do
say,
think,
I
yeah,
always thought that she was robbed. I think she should have been nominated for Best Supporting Actress in Hustlers. I thought she was great in Hustlers. I
I've
think that's
never
the
seen
one
it.
place. You've never seen Hustlers?
No.
Hustlers is like truly one of my, I would say, top 20 movies, maybe.
Top 20.
Yeah.
Okay, well, we're gonna have to go over the other 19 at some point. Not
You
today,
know what
but
I mean? It's like it's a movie that I've seen multiple times, but I wouldn't say it's my favorite, but it's like it is like a top movie for me. I love it.
oh my God. Wait till you find out how much I love the movie The Brothers Solomon.
What? I don't even know what that is.
Oh my God. It's like my favorite movie. It's Will Forte and Will Arnett play two adult brothers who live together, and their dad is in a coma, and they're like, God, like I feel like we didn't do enough to like make dad happy growing up. So like we should try to have a baby while he's in the coma. And so Kristen Wiig is the woman that they hire as a surrogate to have a baby for them while their dad's in a coma in hopes that he will awaken. And it is like one of my favorite movies. No one's seen it.
Yeah, nobody has seen that. I don't. Are you sure that wasn't just like a fever dream that you just made up right now?
No, it's so funny. And here's the thing, like Mike had obviously my husband had never seen it. And so I was like, once we'd been together for like a year, so I was like, listen, you have to see this movie. It's like my favorite movie. So he watches it. He's like, Meredith, this movie is so good. I'm like, I know. And I was with my cousins. This was years ago now. I was with my cousins and like something happened and I was like, and I like said like under my breath a quote from the Brothers Solomon that no one would know. And they were like, wait, do you know the Brothers Solomon? I was like, yeah. They're like, Meredith, we're obsessed with that movie. Nobody, and it's like, I think that it's like, it's very Lynch family coded.
Yeah.
So
Totally.
actually, I think you would love it because we have very similar senses.
Oh, I'm sure I would. I'm sure I would. Yes. Now I have to go see it. Absolutely.
But I'm just checking in the chat. People are, why are Leah and J-Lo not friends anymore? I don't know.
They definitely had a falling out. I know
Do you
this to
think
be
it was
true.
Scientology related?
I don't think so. Because I mean, Leah's no longer Scientology. She's like spoken out against Scientology. I don't know.
No,
I
I
don't know.
mean like J-Lo.
Oh, that J-Lo has a Scientology.
Like J-Lo's one of those people who sort of, I feel like when Leah Remini was in it, she was kind of like flirting with Scientology. Like
Yeah.
there's all these celebrities who kind of like go on the peripheral. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah.
Leah
So Vienna's
Remini
putting in the chat.
Yeah.
I knew, so I was working with somebody who's very, very close with J-Lo who told me that Leah was not going to be at the wedding. And like, I knew that she wasn't going to be there. I knew that that was part of it. I think, like, here's my gut. I think J-Lo's probably a very hard person to be friends with as a true equal.
Right. And
You
like they
know?
kind
And,
of
like-
came up as equals together. You know what I mean? Like they were friends like before they were huge. Like Leah Remini, like don't at me, Leah Remini. You're not as famous as J-Lo.
Period.
Okay.
Yeah.
But I think that's sort of like, hey, I'm not as famous as Romeo, Rebecca's dog. Like this is something that I accept.
Who could be? Yeah.
Both women got divorced just days apart.
Yeah.
I mean,
I think
this can really fuck with friendships too.
100%. Yeah. I just, I think that J-Lo's probably a challenging person to be friends with. And like, it makes sense, like friendships come and go too. I think that sometimes it's like, I don't know, there's people that I was very, very good friends with 10 years that we just like grew apart. I don't know. We just like aren't friends anymore.
Speaking, like I saw, oh, go ahead.
Oh, I was going to ask if you think that she's dating Brett Goldstein.
Yeah, I do. I
You
do
think so?
she is. I do think she is. And I also saw her say that she's the queen of rom-coms. And I was like, girl, who gave you that title? Yourself? Like
100%. Yeah.
Like when I think rom-coms, I like who would you say is the queen of rom-coms?
Probably Sandra Bullock or Julia Roberts.
Yes.
Yeah, 90s. I mean,
like
J-Lo is, she's got a few good ones.
Name 3 good ones.
Okay. Made in Manhattan.
No.
The Wedding Planner.
Yes.
End list.
That's
Yeah.
it. Yeah, exactly. And I'm sorry, but like Made in Manhattan is no The Wedding Planner.
I don't know. I like Made in Manhattan.
Go and get a hold of Rebecca's Letterboxd.
Somebody else said that to me the other day. I know it's all just J-Lo.
Oh, that's I think. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, go ahead.
I don't know. I just wanted to tell you guys that I did reach out to Spencer's team yesterday.
I know, and you were blocked on everything.
Now I'm hard blocked.
Now you're hard blocked.
I have to say, Rebecca, I understand when people block people because I don't think that anyone should be like physically harassed or like I've seen things that just feel, whether it feels racist or anti-Semitic or whatever, like no one should deal with that.
Sure.
But like truly, and like you and I are very honest with each other, I don't believe that I have done anything that would warrant me being blocked by someone who's running to be my mayor.
I agree. I think, like I've seen you say things about lots of different people. Spencer, I think you've been plenty fair too. And he's come up really like I think to be fair, we've taken him like seriously as a candidate. Like, I think that's the only way we've talked about him is, like how he exists in this space. Speaking of which, let's take a tact and talk about the person that we have here with us today. We've done enough yapping about
Speaking of,
bad movies.
we can find out if he's blocked. No, just kidding.
Yeah, I wonder. Okay, so we have with us today Michael Tubbs. He's a candidate for California Lieutenant Governor. We're going to ask him what exactly Lieutenant Governor does because both of us aren't quite sure. But Michael is the former mayor of Stockton, where he became the city's first African-American mayor and the youngest mayor of any major American city at 26, which is wild. I really want to ask him about that. He's also the founder of Mayors for a Guaranteed Income, and he currently serves as special advisor to Governor Gavin Newsom on economic mobility. He's here with us. Do we have Michael Tubbs in the chat? Hey, Michael.
Good morning.
Good morning. Thanks for joining us and
Thanks for
listening in
having
on our craziness.
Wait, can I tell you my favorite J-Lo movie?
Please.
Oh, please.
My favorite J-Lo movie is Enough. It's when she's like,
Yes.
it's a great movie, right? It's like one of my favorite movies, actually.
Okay, to that end, I think J-Lo's biggest career misstep of the past couple years, why isn't she in a Marvel movie? She should be a superhero. Like, enough. Like, she's so like 100%. Yeah.
Yeah, I forgot about Enough. Like, that's where I'm like, girl, you're not the queen of rom-coms. Enough is a great movie. Selena is a great movie.
Selena is great.
Right? Like, I think that
I thought that was Selena in her own movie. That's why they say
Yes,
J-Lo.
That's right.
Right?
That's right.
I don't know. I think, you know what, J-Lo, if you're looking for a new creative partner, I think you've got 3 people who've got some great ideas here.
Well, also, J-Lo, a voter in the California race, I would imagine, like lives here in Los Angeles. She probably has her ballot. Michael, tell J-Lo what Lieutenant Governor does, and then tell us why you should be Lieutenant Governor.
Well, Ms. Lopez, if you're watching, and to everyone watching, the Lieutenant Governor is the second highest elected official in California. We run independently of the governor. And what statutory the job requires is that you sit on the UC, CSU, and community college boards. So like 3 largest public institutions of higher learning in the nation. The lieutenant governor is one of the only people that sits on all 3. And I think that's important because when we talk about like the housing challenges of California, those universities sit on a lot of land. They can build housing for students and faculty and just haven't yet. So that's a big priority for me. Number 2, the lieutenant governor sits on the State Lands Commission, one of 3 people that determines when offshore drilling permits expire. Do they really expire? Or do they keep extending them? I'm of the opinion when they expire, and we shouldn't allow any new ones. Also, in terms of protecting our coastlines and access to our beaches and access to all the beautiful natural amenities that make California special. And also when you think of sort of renewable energy, alternative energy, solar energy, the State Lands Commission can decide to open up some state land to do that. So it's not just sitting there dormant. And then the lieutenant governor is the acting governor when the governor is away, or if the governor is sick, or the governor becomes president or Supreme Court justice, or decides to leave the office automatically. There's no election. The lieutenant governor just becomes the acting governor for the rest of the term. And then the lieutenant governor, because you run statewide, it's just an incredible bully pulpit to sort of put things on the ballot. So, but the best example is marijuana is legal in California because Lieutenant Governor Gavin Newsom put it on the ballot and built a coalition to get it passed. So for me, when I think about the future of work, when I think about AI, I truly do believe we deserve to own our own data. I truly do believe we should have equity stakes. And these large LLM AI companies that are built off our data and built off our collective knowledge, that will probably be something that has to go through the ballot. Lieutenant Governor could build a coalition of folks to make that happen. So sorry for the long answer, but that's like all the different roles the Lieutenant Governor has.
No, that's fascinating. That's really good information. Go ahead, Meredith.
Sorry. Yeah, I feel like a little embarrassed that I didn't, know what a lieutenant governor really did. And now once I realize it, I'm like, this is incredibly interesting because also it's like, hey, if you're somebody who isn't thrilled right now with your options for governor, you should really look into who's running for lieutenant governor because it has an impact. So let me ask you this, like, what happens if you become lieutenant governor and then there is a Republican governor? How much power does the lieutenant governor have then? Like, what kind of relationship happens?
Well, everyone make sure you vote so that doesn't happen. But if that does happen, I become the de facto leader of the opposition. I have to like hold the line. So when it comes to our budget, making sure our budget is in balance on the backs of working class and poor people, making sure we keep our commitments to civil rights for everyone, women's reproductive rights, our commitment to all of our kids, including our trans kids, our commitment to reproductive freedom and healthcare for everyone, our commitment to being good stewards of the environment. I'll have to lead those fights. And then I would imagine if the Republicans elected, there's going to be a talk of some sort of recall or some sort of how do we organize to make sure California doesn't go red. And then if that's the case, Lieutenant Governor would be teed up to be that person that steps in. And if that was to be successful. But for everyone watching, that's like a worst case scenario. We have 6 days, vote blue. I mean, the polling tells us there's probably 2 candidates that have a chance to make it on the Democratic side. Vote for somebody and then vote for Michael Tubbs for Lieutenant Governor.
Can I ask you, okay, so I'm a California transplant. I've only been here for like 5, I guess I've been here for a while now, but like, not from here originally. A criticism that I hear of California a lot is like, hey, Democrats have been running California for the past, since 2004 in LA. We've had Democratic mayors in governor politics, I think, since Arnold Schwarzenegger. It's been blue. Why do you think, or like, how would you explain to people why to keep Democrats in power still of California when there's been so much struggle here and it's been Democrats over and over again elected into higher office?
It's a fair question. I tell people all the time that they're right. Most of California's problems have not been caused by Donald Trump, have not been caused by MAGA. They may have exacerbated some problems and created new ones like kidnapping people through ICE. But the fact that we're tied with Louisiana for the highest poverty rate, the fact that our education rates aren't that great, that's not a Republican issue, that we have to own that. But I would also say Democrat is a broad term. It's not a term with deep specificity. It describes a lot of different people. So I would say all blue isn't created equal. And I would say I'm running for lieutenant governor because to that point, I think we need Democrats who believe in civil rights and dignity for all people, but also believe that that's just not rhetorical. I also believe that we have to do the hard work of making that happen. And I share with people all the time that in California, for us to be golden for all, we have to be just as willing to have fights with each other as we are willing to have fights with Donald Trump. Because they build more housing in California, that's not a fight with Donald Trump. That's a fight with Democrats. That's a fight with NIMBYs. That's a fight with friends to reduce the poverty rates and increase wages to ensure that prosperity is widespread. That's not a fight with Donald Trump. That's a fight with liberals, with Democrats. So I think the issue is that we haven't built the muscle of taking these values we hold, this idea that all people are equal and there's their opportunity, and actually translate it to a governing frame. But and again, I don't want to suggest that California's all doom and gloom. Obviously, you moved here, we live here because it's great. But it also does have real problems that just being a Democrat alone is not going to solve. And that's why I think we need leaders, people with a track record like I have of governing, of doing hard things, of pissing people off, but moving the ball forward, or else we'll be stuck. And I think for me, why I decided to run was that my biggest fear is that when this MAGA experiment fails and people look to an alternative, they're gonna be like, well, wait, I also don't want to be in a place that's unaffordable, where there's a bunch of homelessness, where it's not clear how governing's not happening, like nothing's changing, where I don't feel safe, like that. So those are things we have to address. It's going to take leadership to do it. But being a Democrat is the floor, not the ceiling. It's not enough just to be a Democrat.
Yeah. One of the things that I have known about you for a little while, even prior to meeting you in your lieutenant governor race, was Mayors for Guaranteed Income, which you started when you were the mayor of Stockton. And so I was wondering if you could talk to us just a little bit about how you would take some of those principles and apply them to the whole state. Because Stockton is a big city, but it's sometimes a little easier to implement on the city level. But what do you see from your time as mayor of Stockton and Mayors for Guaranteed Income that you could implement statewide?
Well, I think the thing about Stockton that's so instructive is that my council was 3 Republicans and 3 Democrats. So everything I did, I had to find a way to convince people who voted for Donald Trump to agree with me, even though things that sounded aggressive are scared, like guaranteed income. And what I learned from that is that sort of leadership and relationships matter. that if you go first, if you de-risk something like we did with the Guaranteed Income Program in Stockton, you prove something, then it's your job not to hoard it and be like, this is just my project, my policy. It's like, no, you open source it. Like, hey, I think it's a good idea. You should do it too and have ownership. So building a coalition of folks who have equal ownership of the policy idea. And then number two, I think it's we've already been doing that work. So we started counties and legislators for guaranteed income as well. So we've been working with Senator Dave Cortese on the guaranteed income bill for California, focused on foster youth aging out the system. And we've also been talking with legislators around a guaranteed income program for pregnant mothers, similar to what's been done in the state of Michigan. So as lieutenant governor, I can supercharge those efforts because now I won't be on the outside advocating and asking folks in the governance to move those things, but I'll be the inside. I'll be lieutenant governor. I can be incredibly annoying and persistent and really build a coalition to get those things done. And then lastly, I truly am like obsessed with this idea of owning our data and with equity stakes in some AI companies. And I think that's going to have to go through the ballot process. So as lieutenant governor, I take those skills in organizing and building broad coalitions outside of my geographic area and really build a team of folks who will work with me to get that on the ballot and hopefully get it passed.
I'm really interested in that. Okay, so one of the things that I feel like I'm getting out of lieutenant governor is in some ways it's a great position to be like, what is the future? Like you're a young guy and part of what it is like, what are the things that we want to see going forward? I didn't know that about Gavin Newsom and getting marijuana on the ballot. Talk to me more about what this ballot initiative would look like for California and how you get that on the ballot.
My team's gonna be so upset with me. They're like, stop talking. Like,
stop.
But no, I think it's important to let people know there's ideas for the future and ideas.
Yeah, I
think
that that's part of the problem right now is people, exactly like you said, is they're like, ugh, it's like, I'm definitely not MAGA, but I don't really want to vote for what's in here. And so I guess it's Spencer Pratt, you know? And so I'm glad, I want to hear new ideas.
Yeah, no, so essentially, ideally, as lieutenant governor, I would create a task force, but a working group. I don't like the task force. A working group with like a 8-9 month window of tech people, of workers, of philosophers and ethicists, of economists, of government, like a real stakeholder group. And the problem being posed is, how do you make sure that AI benefits everyone? How do we mitigate the harms? And then how do we make it so that California can own their data? Would be like the 3 questions I would pose. And then after 9 months, it would be messy and irritative, and people will be upset, blah, blah, blah. But at the end of 9 months, I'm hopeful we'll get to something that labor, tech, academics, economists, and the community can all bless collectively and say, hey, you guys, we think this is the path forward. Mm-hmm. And then taking that with the governor, hopefully get the governor's blessing. But even without the governor's blessing, this is a matter of raising money to put it on the ballot or raising money to get the signatures. So there's 2 things you could do. You go to the state, you can go to the legislature. If the legislature blesses it, it can just go on the ballot without having to get signatures. But it might be worth it to raise the money to get the signatures because then you're already starting the campaign before the campaign.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And so in doing so, then you put it on the ballot and then it's about, I mean, I guess I love campaigning. It'll be another campaign. Talking to people, explaining to people. But I'm so focused and adamant about this in particular because I do think for our future, like literally for civil society, we have to come to a place where even if it's not a complete agreement, that labor, tech, working people are on the same page and on the same team. Because if it's adversarial, nothing's going to get done. And I mean, I'm a student of history, and every revolution has started when a small amount of people own everything and everyone else has nothing. Like literally our country, like the modern world was created because a small amount of people had everything and everybody was serfs. They're like, actually, let them be, like if it's,
people will never,
it's not a good place. So my hope is that California, because we're not going to see it at the federal level. As long as Trump is president, as long as Republicans run Senate, we're not going to see anything done that's actually going to create the future we want to live in. So California has to lead. So I'm sorry for the long answer, but that's how I'm thinking. I'm elected, but that's how I'm thinking as of May 7th, 2026.
Well, it kind of reminds me of, a couple of days ago, the Pope released his encyclical on AI, and he released it with the CEO of Anthropic. And so he's kind of like, hey, we actually do have to be coming together and having these hard conversations. I think one of the things I'm thinking about a lot right now is AI. California is a big state. I think that like AI can affect it in a lot of different ways, whether it's building of data centers, whether it is, laying off of workers. And I will tell you, as a content creator, over the last month, I've been offered thousands of dollars to promote AI, basically dysregulation. And so I guess my question to you is like, where are you falling in the world of AI regulation? And like, could we really kind of, because Trump loves AI. You can't take those memes away from him, right? Like I was thinking about
hey, all old people love AI. Like half of our environment's being destroyed because our grandparents are making like birthday cards.
So like, could we put Cam Bondi on his AI panel, like the least qualified person in the world to be like, yeah, this is how we should be running AI.
So can we regulate it at the state level? What are you thinking as you run for lieutenant governor?
I mean, we have to, right? We saw what happened when social media was just allowed to run by itself and with no real rules. Now 20 years later, we're seeing the impacts on depression, on our brain chemistry, on just on society writ large. So again, but I think the regulatory process has to be iterative. And it can't just be just lawmakers have to make the decision, but lawmakers don't have the knowledge or the experience. So it has to take an input from tech and from labor and from workers and from parents. I think we should start with the chatbot, the AI chatbots for kids, and saying, hey, we don't want our kids to have access to those AI chatbots. Like I think that's just like a common sense, shouldn't be controversial thing. But then on some of the other things, I think it's going to have to be iterative. And we have to try some things and go back to the table. I think we have to have a commitment. Like Brene Brown has this beautiful quote that we should be committed to getting it right and not being right. And that's sort of where I am generally, but particularly on this issue, is that no one has all the answers now. But I do think we should at least start with a value proposition that we want to make sure this technology is one that is used for broad benefit while mitigating harm, that we don't want people to not work, and we want to increase the quality of life for everyone. That we don't want wealth to be hoarded in the hands of a few. We want everyone to have a stake in the wealth that can be created with this technology. And I think if we just have if we agree on a value statement, then we can have a messy policy debate and argument. And again, no one's going to be happy. Industry's not going to be happy. Labor's not going to be happy. That's
a compromise.
But I think that's why I'm drawn to public service, because I'm like actually very uncomfortable with everyone being pissed at me if things are getting better. I'm like, all right, like I'm sure you're mad, but hey, like actually our kids are protected. Like actually we all are benefiting. Like actually people still have jobs and are able to be productive. Actually, it's not 3 people running the whole world and we're all living in it. That just sounds very dystopian to me.
I wonder, so we were talking yesterday on the show about AI, and it seems like unlike previous technologies, people really are not that happy with AI. I saw a video of 3 teenage young 20 guys like beating up one of those little carts, like that do the food around West Hollywood.
It's funny. I'm sorry.
It's funny. It's funny. And you hear all these young people booing. I wonder in our last month, two questions. So you're campaigning, you're getting to talk to a lot of people across the state. What are you hearing about how people feel about AI regulation? And then also generally, what are you hearing from people about this election, what they care about?
Yeah, well, what it is that the status quo is so broken and so dystopian for so many people. This idea of something new and disruptive is very scary. Because right now, there's not a trust that government can deliver basics like food and shelter, much less how is government going to harness this tool that's been said it's going to replace all the jobs, or AGI, it's going to be smarter than us. Like that's like for folks who are looking at a government that can't agree on healthcare for everyone or can't agree on like right to shelter. Like that's a very tough proposition. So what I'm hearing from people is that without even thinking about the future that's already here, the status quo isn't working. I can't afford to live in California. I can't afford childcare. People are telling me I'm not even going to have kids because I don't think I'll be able to afford a house, much less an education and child. So I think that and that's what animates my run. And I always say, because I don't have a lot of time, part of it is that I know what it's like to feel like government doesn't work. My mom was 16 when she had me. My father is still incarcerated. I'm Black. I'm from Stockton, but I'm from South Stockton. So like the worst part, quote unquote, of Stockton. So I know what it feels like to like, hey, like, does anyone see me? Hey, does this thing work? And that's why I'm running, and that's why I'm trying to be responsive to people and saying that look, the future is here, it's coming, but the outcomes are determined by our actions. That we can do something. Like we might not be 100% right, but we don't have to be passive. We don't have to just let things happen. We don't have to have the highest poverty rate in this country. We don't have to have a lack of housing. Like we can actually change those things, but it's going to take leadership to do it. And then I'll end with on the point of AI, there's not enough clear examples of how this benefits everyone.
Mm-hmm.
There's examples for how it benefits CEOs and companies. Like that makes sense.
Totally.
Right? Yeah, you pay less on labor, you make more money. But for the average person, besides like searching for where to eat on ChatGPT or Claude, there's not been a clear explanation of how does this benefit. And that's why I'm like, hey,
I
if
think it's a
everyone gets
really good
ownership
point.
of it, if everyone's able to profit off their own data, if people see their quality of life rise, then it's less scary. If folks can see actually how their doctors and their teachers, like how the things they use actually get better. And then also there's a lot of examples of it not working. Like you type something in and just lies. Like,
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh my God, I know. People,
Well,
And then you correct it, and they're
I
like,
was-
"You make a very good point."
Well, one
Thank
time I
you
was
for
so
pushing back.
hungry. My wife was gone, so I was so hungry. So I ordered my kids Mr. Charlie's. We love Mr. Charlie's, and it came in like a robot car.
Yep.
But like my phone was dying or dead, so I couldn't like unlock it. So me in the car was just it was just
You were fighting with the robot.
it was horrible. My kids were like, "Open up, open up." My kids were the 3 kids you saw with the bag.
Wait, that was your kids that I saw with the bat. Now that I think about it, that's hilarious. That's so funny.
oh my gosh, Mr. Charlie's, get behind this campaign.
Yes, that's right.
Please, just feed me. I love Mr. Charlie's. I really do.
That's true. Yeah.
Oh, Michael Tubbs, can you remind our viewers where they can find you?
Michael D. Tubbs, MichaelDTubbs on Instagram, on Meta, on X. Threads is a lot of political talk I'm learning on Threads.
I know the kids are
And we
fired up
love
on
threads in
Threads.
this house.
But thank you so much for having me.
And on your ballot out now, right? Like
Yes.
if you live in
Oh,
California,
ballot.
you have a ballot in your inbox. I personally like to vote in person. It's like a point of pride for me. I need a sticker. I just need a sticker. But Michael Tubbs is on your ballot as we speak. So
Lieutenant Governor Michael Tubbs, thank you.
thank
Bye,
you, Michael.
Michael.
Good to see you. Bye. That's
Somebody
so
says
funny.
in the chat, Rockstar Librarian, which love that handle. I think they're
Rockstar
not based here.
librarian.
Yeah, they're not based here in California. They said, I think this is your Lieutenant Governor, California.
Wow.
But also too, like, you know, I think everyone should just vote.
I think
you know,
everybody should vote.
get in there
Like
and vote.
we can all vote differently. I think what excites me about Michael, and this is like not an endorsement, is just seeing young people be like, hey, what are we gonna do when Trump is over? You know, and like how are we gonna
Right.
what's the future look like? What are the questions? And like it is hopeful when you dies. Oh, did I lose you?
Yeah, but you know, that's just someone said Spencer Pratt is a right-wing plant. I actually don't think that Spencer is a right-wing plant. Like I do think he's being definitely uplifted by the Republican Party and by MAGA,
Sure.
but I don't think that someone went to Spencer and said, "Hey man, I think you should run as a right-wing plant." Like I don't think it was that.
No, I think
Well-
he's running on the Spencer Pratt.
Yeah, the Spencer Pratt platform.
Yeah.
But it's then they said he's very right wing. Yeah, I don't know that I'd say he's extremely right wing. Like to me, I think there's right wing, like there's the right wing of like, I'm gonna try to get women locked up for hating Donald Trump. Like that's not Spencer Pratt.
Well, he's definitely not a Christian nationalist.
Right,
You know?
yeah,
Like, I don't think he's a Christian nationalist. It's funny. I made a video explaining to people how the mayoral election works. And I called him MAGA aligned in my explanation of who the 3 candidates were. And people were very mad at me. They were like, he's not MAGA, he's independent. And I think it's fair to say he's MAGA aligned.
Yes.
I think that like he has a lot of policies and ideas that are in common with MAGA. I think he said that he's going to cooperate with ICE. Trump himself has said that Spencer is MAGA, but I think that I agree. I think Spencer's running on a Spencer campaign. And if that's for you, like I'm somebody that I'm like, I want people to vote. And that's not how
I know,
Democrats feel. It's like
fighting.
Democrats
Oh my
want,
God.
you know,
They're
or like,
all fighting about Steyer and Becerra right now. And like
yeah.
one of the things I'm seeing people be like is like, how dare you vote for Becerra? How dare you vote for Steyer? I don't want to do that to people. Like, I just want you guys to go vote. Let's figure it out in the wash. Like, let's get through the primaries and see where it lands.
Influencer infighting about who's getting paid and who's who. And by the way, we've said this before. It's like I'm in this Steyer group chat, and like there's a lot of people who I don't think that they're getting paid, but I see them making content that looks neutral, and I see them in this group chat like cheering on Tom Steyer. So like
people sell me out. I'm just kidding. I'm not in the group chat. No,
it's
you know what?
Like,
somebody like asked me, I made that video about Spencer yesterday about his policies, because I think it's really important when people are like, well, no one wants to talk about his policies. And it's like, okay, let's talk about putting a LAPD officer in front of every school and see what David Hogg, who knows this stuff, actually says about that, right? So like, let's talk about that. So then all of a sudden I start getting the comments. How much is Karen Bass paying you? Karen Bass is not paying me. We don't take, the other thing I want to say is we do not take any money on this show from people coming on and talking to us. I have not taken any money from any California candidates.
Not only do we not take money, we don't take talking points. We don't edit for them. We don't, like, the people that we have on this show we're interested in. We don't always agree 100%, but like, we're not working with them. We're in no group chat where we're like, hey, how can we help you? Like, we don't do that on this show.
Yeah, and it's something that I'm really proud of us for. And I'm not saying that content creators shouldn't be compensated for other things that they're doing, but this show is different. The point of this show, and also want to add, we have invited, because people are like, oh, you had Javier Becerra on. Guess what? We invited Tom Steyer. We invited Tom Steyer. We invited Katie Porter.
Yep.
Multiple times we've invited these people. They don't get back to us. So like, you know what? We asked Javier Becerra on. His team gets back to us.
Yeah.
And so if that makes you feel like we are paid by Becerra,
we've asked Spencer Pratt to be on, actually,
multiple times. And
now that I think about it, I'm like, wait a minute, we asked Spencer Pratt to be on. We asked Karen Bass to be on, and the only person who's come on the show is Nithya Raman.
Right. So I think one of the problems here too is that people just assume that if you're talking to one of them, that means that that's the endorsement, and that means that you have blown off and you're getting, and that's just simply not true. There's so many people who just won't come on. I get in the comments. Yeah.
I mean, I think that's part of the problem with internet politics writ large. Like, I come from such an old school journalism world where it's like the idea is that like everybody gets space and then there's somebody there to hold them accountable. On the internet, so much of this is like, well, if you are talking about this or if you are platforming them in some way, you must be endorsing this person. And it's like, no, there's a lot of ways to endorse, like it's gotten so muddled, I guess is what I'm saying. And it's gotten so vicious and in camps. I think that because, like it's interesting to see the Becerra Steyer of it all, because I think because of how contentious Trump and like how moral an issue it became with like MAGA versus anyone else, basically, people have now taken that into every election cycle. Like it is vicious between Steyer and Becerra people right now. And I'm like, for what? For what? I
can't do it. Like, I just cannot, like, I already, listen, I got my own problems. I got a ballot I need to fill out. I got fucking life on life's terms over here. So I can't do the infighting. And I understand that they represent different values. And I think that's like, I trust people to figure that out and figure out who they want to vote for. Like, I also like, don't want to tell people between the two of them who to vote for. I think I said on Threads who I'm voting for, but that is not meant to convince you to vote like me.
Yeah, for sure not. My only goal is for people to, I just want an educated society. I really think that that's what it comes down for me. It's like, I'm like,
I just know that we all need to, not in everything. I still want to use Perplexity for math, please.
Sure, fair. I want a society of people who are critical thinkers, who are like, I am somebody who reads and comes to my own conclusions based on firsthand sources and, analyzing the world in a way that is like most equitable to the most people.
I
Yeah.
know. I know. And honestly, I kind of can't wait till this primary is over and we have some things just sort of like flushed out because
Yeah, I
I hate
agree.
living in the gray. And it's like, if it's going to be Spencer and Karen Bass, like let it just be Spencer and Karen Bass. If it's going to, you know what I mean? Like that's kind
Yeah,
of where I'm at.
I agree.
Um, do you think it's going to be Steyer versus Becerra?
Yeah, I do.
Okay. Like
I do.
one of them is going to finish above Hilton.
Yeah, I think so. I mean, I could be wrong, like,
Yeah.
who knows? But, like and, also, I will say it's very hard to tell. I'm, like, basing this off of, like, polls, but also, like, what I'm seeing online, but I'm like, maybe this is not I'm in the wrong bubble. But, yeah, I think that that's, like, who's getting the most attention, which is usually who ends up
Yeah.
winning. Like, I also think it's gonna be Karen Bass for Spencer Pratt in November. Um, yeah, that's how I think it will
Yeah.
turn out, and I thought it was so interesting. Robert Reich, do you know who Robert Reich is?
Yeah, sure. Of course.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He endorsed Tom Steyer. Isn't that wild?
Does he not usually do endorsements?
Well, he's the anti-billionaire guy. He's spoken out against Tom Steyer before.
Oh, I didn't realize that he is like, hey, I'm an anti-billionaire.
Oh, for sure. Well, I
Well,
mean,
I
like,
knew
I don't know if
he's
he said
into okay.
no, like,
Yep.
he's the person who sort of, like, originally taught me as a millennial why billionaires are bad. Like, he's a very left-wing economist. I mean, he worked in the Clinton administration, but, like, as an independent person, he's like a professor and everything, and he's, like, very anti-billionaire. And so I think everybody is a little bit like, "Huh? Huh?
Can I say two more things about Spencer?
Please."
First of all, we need to see if Spencer blocked you.
Oh, interesting. Yeah, we'll have to see. Should I look
I think
right
it's
now?
possible that he blocked you.
Yeah, it's
Um,
possible.
so the other thing that I wanted to say is I went on Spencer's website last night and he has he likes to say oh, I'm not involved in any of these things against Karen Bass, but calling her Karen Basura,
Yes,
Karen,
I agree. I think it sits really wrong with me too. Yeah.
so disgusting. And then also this
He didn't block me.
image. He didn't?
No.
No. He also has this image that you can download of her stuffed in a trash barrel with trash all around her. It's
Ugh.
it looks like Oscar the Grouch, but he put her in a trash barrel. And I just have to say, whether, and I talked about this yesterday, but whether it's Candace Owens, still refusing to pronounce Kamala's name correctly,
Mhm.
or calling Karen Bass Karen Basura, you cannot tell me that is not rooted in anti-Blackness.
Yeah, fully agree. Yeah.
Even if you are running against them, you can say their name right.
Yeah.
It is common fucking decency and respect.
Yeah.
And if you're running on these principles of I'm a good person, I'm this, I'm that, you shouldn't need to call her Karen trash.
Yeah. No, I agree. I agree. It's so ugly. Should we do a moment before people go, or should we just leave them with two movie recommendations, Brother Solomon and Hustlers? All right, what's having a moment for you?
Oh God, I don't know. You go first.
Oh, I don't know. What's having a moment for me? What's having a moment for me? I don't know. This is always my default is I just think everybody should do pole. I love my pole dancing classes so much. I've done 101 classes now, and I just think everybody should do it. It's the best.
That's amazing. I can't believe you've done 101 because when I met you, you weren't even doing it.
I had just started.
Yeah, so much. Also, too, we want to know in the comments what's having a moment for you right now. What's giving you life? What are you thinking about? Can make you happy? Can make you sad? That's so cool, Rebecca. I can't wait till you release your DVD.
I know. My goal is eventually to do a competition. I'm not there yet. So the big competitions are in November, and I don't think this year I'm going to have the confidence to compete quite yet, but next November.
We also have a very, very I'm already panicking about the fall.
Yeah, me too. I know.
It's going to be so Romeo's yep, the fall's going to be very busy, Mom, so you better pay attention to me. No,
That's right.
I have something to tell you. I'll tell you offline about the fall. But we'll get to that. But I do think it's going to be really intense with the midterms and stuff. Not saying that you can't go for your dreams, but I'm just saying I think it's realistic.
No, I think it's also going to be intense. And we didn't talk about this, but so did you see Ken Paxton won against Cornyn in Texas? And I don't know, I think anything could happen. There's still lots of time, but I'm like, Trump still has a very strong hold on the votership, much more so than I think Democrats are totally ready. Like I think we got to have all the hope we can have, and everybody needs to vote.
Thomas Massie losing to me said so much. An incumbent who, I felt had like strong support, who really just lost because of not aligning with Trump. Same with Bill Cassidy.
Well, and I think that what I'm surprised about that too is like the ways he didn't align with Trump are the original ways in which MAGA supported Trump. You know what I mean? It was like, it's like the no foreign wars and release the Epstein files. And ultimately, I agree. And so I do think that the fall, I think it's going to be more intense than Democrats are totally ready for.
Yeah. Okay. Really quick, two things having a moment for me is I have a show on Friday. If people want to come out and see me at West Side Comedy, 10 p.m. I know grandma's getting up late. So if people want to come and see me, it's going to be a really fun show. But also, this is like breaking news. Sabrina, aka the Princess Fusion, who's one of our supporters. The other night, Mike just goes, "How's the Princess Fusion?" I was like, "Thank you for recognizing her chosen name."
Yes.
But no, my friend Sabrina and I just booked, this is breaking news, for July 1st, which is a Wednesday. We are going to do a Love Island night.
Oh, fun.
Last summer, Love Island watch parties were like the big thing. So we're not going to do a watch party. On Wednesday nights, that's the one night that Love Island is not on, which like is so unhinged because like just the way that Love Island is about to consume my life. I'm so excited. So we're going to do a Love Island live show and like a couple of comics. We're going to shoot the shit. We're going to talk about Love Island. It's July 1st. Obviously the tickets aren't out yet, but we just booked it. And I think it's going to be really fun. So
that's going to be unhinged. I love it.
Right?
I'll be there.
I'm so excited. So anyway, guys, stay tuned because I'm going to do a lot of Love Island. Oh my God, wait, I think the Princess Fusion is in here right now. Oh my God, she's here right now, you guys.
Is she in the room with us?
I know, I wish. She also has a show coming up. She also, she wants to be top pole dancing, but she also ordered one of our sweatshirts. And I feel like we're just shooting the shit for a second and we're going to wrap up. But you guys, we have sweatshirts. If you go to the
My mom just got hers too.
My sisters just got theirs and they were like, "Oh my God, I love it. It's so cozy." The shirts are so cute. So if you go to themomentshow.com, we have the sweatshirts available. They come in gray and then like this really pretty, like sort of like cream color.
Yeah.
They're so cozy and cute. And they have the like 90s Princess Diana mock. It's adorable.
It's so
but anyway,
I almost wore it this morning.
I know mine. I got like the only thing with me and the mock turtleneck is like,
the makeup on the
Trump and I have the same fucking problem. I love the one thing I will give to Trump is like, it's so nice to have representation in the White House for the self-tanning community. Like,
I want to know what's happening with him at Walter Reed for another day.
Okay, we'll talk about it on Friday. You guys, as always, we love hanging out with you.
We love you guys so much.
To follow The Moment Live and more to come.
Yeah. Bye guys. Thank you so much.
Bye. Thanks for hanging out.